here today. I'm Dr. Helen Harrison, so I'm the course coordinator for our medical science programs. There's quite a few of them and we're going to talk about them throughout the rest of the day. So we're a part of the College of Medicine and Public Health. So as I said, my name's Helen. You can call me Helen. You don't have to call me Dr. Harrison or anything like that. I'm more than happy for you to address me by my first name. So I've been coordinating the course for a few years now and started off as a first year coordinator before that, but I'm also a senior lecturer in human physiology. And I've got a research background, so I've got a PhD, not an MD, which makes me a real doctor, and that's going to offend some people, I think. And so my background is more in comparative physiology, so I used interesting animals to look at human problems. But anyway, let's get started and look into what we're going to be talking about today and how the session will run. So I'm going to give you a bit of an overview and a welcome and some information about the course. We've got Professor Voula Gaganis here, who's our laboratory medicine coordinator, is going to speak for a little bit about that course. We've got our student success and wellbeing advisor, Melissa Suckley, is going to come and introduce herself and her role and how she fits in with our college and supporting student success. We've got Catherine Lowry, our student administration services boss, who's going to introduce herself and talk through some things as well. Our Dean of Education will come and say hello. We've got Lara Escane, or Dr. Lara Escane, who's our Year 1 coordinator at Peer Mentoring Program, who's going to speak, tell you about the Peer Mentoring Program in particular, but also her role as first year coordinator. And then we've got our Student Society President and Vice President who are going to come and introduce themselves and introduce the society to you too. Then we're all going to walk down to the medical centre. You're going to sit with your mentor groups and do some activities to start getting to know everybody. Don't worry, it's not the old traditional icebreaker of tell us something about yourself. And then we're going to eat some pizza and things as well. And if you've got questions, obviously there'll be loads of opportunities to ask those of us that are wandering around, of the staff, but also of your peer mentor and of each other. All right, so I do just want to acknowledge that today presenting in this lecture theatre here, we're on Kaurna land and Bedford Park campus is based on Kaurna land, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. We're really fortunate to be able to teach on this site and learn as well, because it is a place of learning that has been so for tens of thousands of years. Flinders University, and you've probably already heard this, actually does sit across quite a large corridor throughout South Australia in some of the rural and regional areas, through the northern corridor up into Alice Springs and then up into Darwin as well. So I do pay my respects to traditional owners of all of the lands that Flinders students live, learn and teach on. And now we've got this Welcome to Country to play.
I'd like to give a really warm welcome to Flinders University. This is Simona Laka-Tur, and she's our Pro Vice-Chancellor Indigenous.
And this is Professor Romy Lawson, Senior Deputy Vice-Chancellor. And we're located at Yungarenthi Imperilla. We'd like to acknowledge all the traditional owners and custodians on the lands on which our university is located, within South Australia and Northern Territory.
And whether you're studying on one of those campuses or online, we warmly welcome you to Flinders University.
Yungarenthi Imperilla means meeting place in Kaurna, and we were gifted the word Yungarenthi, which means to impart, to inform and communicate. We're right next to Yungarenthi Truku, the building where our Aboriginal students come and learn.
So to start your journey with Flinders, we're privileged to have Cliffy Wilson with us today. He's here from the Kumakaru and he's going to do a welcome to country for us.
Nyanka Namena, Namani, Nana Cliffy Tanku, Manacha Wilson, Nagana, Naranjiri, Naranga, Nadri, Alan Damayo. Mariwichanga Gana Miana, Nadlu Tambadi, Nadlu Gana Yatanga Tikandi. Na wanga di mani le bunigani yatana, na yukandalia yakandalia, na chalia. Good morning to each and every one of you behind the lens today. My name is Cliffy Wilson, but I also go by Tunkel and Manacha, which are both my traditional Kaurna names down here in the city of Adelaide. So Tunkel is my totem, and my totem is the king brown snake, one of the most dangerous animals in the world. Also, Manacha is just my birth order name, which translates to the fourth born and male of my family. I'm a proud Kaurna man from here in the city of Adelaide, but also a proud Ngarrindjeri man from back on the lower lakes of the Coorong and the Fleurieu Peninsula. My family ties extend out to the Narangga people on the Yorke Peninsula, also to the Ngadju people on the Flinders Ranges, and last but not least, the Aranda people in the Northern Territory of Alice Springs. I'm here this morning at Flinders University in Bedford Park, also known as Yungarindi Imperilla, which translates to meeting place, which is located on the Kaurna lands. And on behalf of the Kaurna people, I would like to welcome those who are situated here in Flinders Uni at Bedford Park on Kaurna lands, but also welcome those across South Australia who are located on other Aboriginal lands. May we pay respects to the traditional custodians of those regions and also pay respects to their cultural and spiritual beliefs, as it still is important to the living Aboriginal people today. Also, we do have campuses located in Northern Territory, so I'd like to pay respects to the traditional owners of those regions. And to the staff and students, may we take care of these campuses and the surrounding communities of these areas like the Aboriginal people have for many thousands of years. But also, may we pay respects to the cultural and spiritual beliefs of the Aboriginal peoples across the country and recognise that their connection to the land, the sky and the waterways that surround and connect us are still as strong, still as important, but also still as important to the living Aboriginal people today. I would like to finish off by saying Ngāchalia and Nakara. Ngāchalia means thank you in the Kaurna language, and Ngāchalia means we'll see you again when our paths meet. To all students, I would like to wish you all the best for the remainder of the year and for your future studies. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Cliffy, for offering us a welcome to country and also the acknowledgement of all the traditional owners on which our universities are located.
So welcome to all our new students. I hope you have an amazing first semester, and remember, have fun.
All right. All right, let's get out of this. This should just exit out, and it does not seem to be wanting to do that. No.
So I'd like to...
Let's do this and do this. All right. So as you can see, we've got a lot that we're going to get through today. No, there we go. So I'll try not to speak too much because I realise that there's a lot of information that you'll take in. These slides we will put up on our course flow site, so you'll be able to access them afterwards. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to access the recording afterwards as well. So if you miss something, don't panic, you'll be able to access it afterwards. But we also kind of want to make sure that we're focusing on the important things. And really what I want you to get from today is firstly just to start meeting other people that are doing the same course, to meet your mentor, to meet some of the staff, but also just to have a bit of an idea about what you need to do for next week. So what topics do you need to be enrolled in? Are you enrolled in the correct ones? All of those sorts of things. And lastly, I want you to know how much support you'll be given here throughout the course and at Flinders, or how much support is available to you if you need it. You might not need it at all, but our plan is that we'll hopefully make you aware of all of the various support services and things that we have available to you. So another video to play. Normally this used to be just a whole heap of slides and it would take about 20 minutes. They've condensed it into a nice little video that I think is about 4 minutes. So it's a much nicer presentation, I think.
Flinders University. This is your guide to getting started, staying connected and finding support. Let's go. First things first, Wi-Fi. Connect to the Edge Your Own Wi-Fi using your student FAN and Flinders password. For more information, head to the Wi-Fi page on our Flinders website. Flow, or Flinders Learning Online, is the main platform that the university uses. It runs off of a platform called Canvas, so you may hear people call it by that name too.
Need help with Flow? Head into the Orientation Events Planner page and register for the Intro to Flow session. If you need help to enroll and register, Flinders has plenty of support available to make the process smooth and stress-free. You can submit a request via Ask Flinders, or you can visit Flinders Connect in person for personalised assistance, or watch the Student System how-to guides on YouTube for quick visual guides. You also need to order your student ID card. This can be done via the Order My ID Card app on your Okta dashboard, or just visit Flinders Connect on Level 1 at Bedford Park.
You can pick it up from Flinders Connect or even get it posted. Just make sure your address is up to date, and you can even choose your preferred name.
Flinders Connect is your one-stop support hub for all things student life, helping with enrollment, fees, exams, graduations, ID cards, scholarships, and general inquiries.
Flinders also offer a huge variety of scholarships, which you can find on our Flinders Scholarships page. Getting to Flinders? No problem.
Take the train straight to Flinders Station or hop on a bus with heaps of routes, including all loop buses, which keep us connected, so you're never more than a bus ride away.
If you're driving onto campus, don't panic, there's plenty of room to park on campus. Just make sure you download Cello Park or grab a V permit to avoid racking up those fines we all love.
Feeling unsafe? Security is here for you 24/7. Just ring 8201-2880 or find hotline phones around campus. If you experience harassment or unacceptable behaviour, you can always make a confidential report. It doesn't start a complaint, it starts support. You can find the library at Level 2 at Bedford Park. Chat with librarians, access photos, videos, textbooks, journals, and more.
Need academic support? Visit the Learning Lounge. The Student Learning Support Service is here to help with referencing, academic writing, and more, online or in person. Better You connects you with wellbeing resources, physical, mental, social, and spiritual. Check it out to look after you.
You can see a doctor, counsellor, or disability advisor through health counselling and disability services available on Level 3 of the Student Centre building by phone or online appointments. These appointments can be bulk billed or covered via an overseas health card. Contact them on 08 8201 2118 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays.
Oasis is your wellbeing space. There's free tea and coffee, prayer rooms and social events, markets and wellbeing programs.
Are you an international student? Come over to the International Student Services where you're supported through advice, volunteering, social events, meet and greets, and much more.
Young Corinthi supports Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students with tutoring, study spaces, financial support and community.
If you're a student with disability or mental health conditions, visit the University Specialist Employment Partnership team. The USEP team offers specialised on-campus employment help in partnership with the Community Bridging Services.
Ready to kickstart your career? Careers Hub is here to help you build resumes, networking, business ideas, and placements to jumpstart your career.
More details on all the services discussed in this video are available on the link above.
And just remember, university is more than just classes. It's about finding your path, building your future, and accessing support.
And don't forget, having fun along the way. We're super excited to have you here.
Welcome to Flinders.
All right, like I said, I think that's much more interesting than me talking for 20 or 30 minutes. There's a QR code here that takes you straight to our Student Support and Services Directory. I'll put this up on Flow, so don't worry about scanning it out. You can if you like, but it'll be available to you. All right, and now I'm going to pass over to Catherine, who is our College Manager for our Student Administrative Services, that's how that word goes, services team, to just talk through her role and her team's role.
Awesome, thank you so much. I can never say Student Administration Services without pausing either. So welcome everybody, I'm Catherine and I'm here with my wonderful colleague Sheila. We are from the Student Administration Services team. So we just wanted to welcome you and say, hey, it's nice, amazing to see you, and hope that we do get to know you over the course of your program. I want to keep this very brief because, as Helen has actually said, you are going to get a lot of information this week. So I probably want you to take about 3 things out of this, which I will remind you at the end. There's no test, I promise. Student Administration Services, or we call ourselves SAS because it's easier, is a university-wide administration area. So what actually happens is we work together across all of the colleges, but our team is located in the college office, which I will tell you where in the next. But the idea of that is that it should be that wherever you go across the university, you will have the same sort of experience because we all do this, we're looking at the same things in that space. As the slide says, we actually work with you, and it may be directly, it may be indirectly, from anywhere from since you have now enrolled, since you've actually been admitted to your course, we cover you right through with everything that you need right up to your graduation. So we have experts in our team that work with each of those areas. So plus a few more, but we go from there. I do absolutely believe that final sentence. We really are very passionate. We want to provide high quality service to students and staff. That's what we're here for. And I've got a tip about that later, but just in that space. So where we are, if you are on campus, we are available at the Flinders Medical Centre, basically down the tunnel. We will go semi-past it later. But if you look for the Gus Frankel Memorial Library, that's where we are. As Helen's mentioned, you will have these contact details on the Flow site, so don't worry about this from here, but we are there from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and there is a general email address that we have. I do ask that, and I say this to every orientation session, we actually support the whole college, so we have a large number of students. At key times, it will be a bit slow to get back to you. Please be patient with us. We just have, there's a lot of students in the college that we look after. This is what the first thing I really want you to remember is your first point of contact for any query that you have is Ask Flinders. Again, this will be on the site, so you have it as a reference across the year. But basically, you saw in the video there was Flinders Connect. So Ask Flinders is the online version of Flinders Connect. So if you're on campus, feel free to go in and ask. If you are online, or if you're FMC and it's too hard to walk up, I understand that. Use the Ask Flinders service to actually get through any query that you have. The reason that we say that's the first one rather than the college inquiries is that there are a lot of questions that are pretty standard, not standard, but they happen a lot. There's a lot of frequent questions, and Ask Flinders can actually answer them for you straight away without you having to wait for a response from us. If that does need to come to us, they refer it on. You don't have to worry about following it up. They will follow it up for you. So that's why we say that's the first point. As with anything, when you are submitting a request, please supply as much information as possible. That would be amazing. Also, just something that may or may not be relevant, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's not a chat service. It's actually here's my inquiry. So if you can put everything that you want to ask in that inquiry at the same time, then we can answer them all rather than going back and forth. As I said, it's easy because, we're all used to chat now, so it's just, but what about? So just saying if we can do it that way, it just makes it a little bit easier as well. I'm just going to act like a little bit of a mum, which is quite ironic because I'm not one. But anyway, there are some tips that over the years, everybody has questions. We talk to students a lot, and there's just a couple of things which might make it easier. So if you don't mind, I'm going to pass that on, as I would do. When you're sending an email to anyone, there are different systems across the university and different people have different access. So it's really, really helpful if you can provide both your student ID and your FAN in any communication, because then we can find you really easily, regardless of the system that we're working with. One way to avoid forgetting this, if you've got an email signature, create an email signature, put your name, put the course that you're doing, because it's amazing that you're doing this, so please put it in, and put your student ID and your FAN in there. That way, every time you put your signature on, you don't have to worry about, it's there, and you don't have to worry about putting it in the body of the email. Again, just a tip, use it as you will. You will have been told, and will be reminded all the way through, to use your Flinders email address wherever you can when you are communicating with the university, and please make sure you continue to check that regularly. That is the key way that we will communicate with you. Obviously there's flow sites, obviously there's other information as well, but please make sure you also keep looking at your Flinders Uni email. And within that, make sure your personal details are correct. Particularly in the first year, it's like really, you're getting settled. A lot of you are getting settled. You may end up moving, all of that sort of stuff. So just make sure your details are checked, correct and up to date. My last one, second to last one. Please ask us for help. Anybody, your academics, ask Flinders, anybody. Ask it for as soon as you need it. I appreciate that it is really easy to go, it's okay, I'll think about it and I'll think about it later, or it's just so much easier and so much less stress for yourself if you ask the question early. So please encourage that. We really encourage it. We want to set you up for success. Everybody here wants to set you up for success. So please ask questions. There are absolutely no dumb questions. I've asked them all and they are all valid and ready to be answered, so no dramas. And the last thing which I just wanted to highlight, because it is something that while we've had something similar for a while, we now have an official student code of conduct. You will see that displayed on screens around the university. The reason it's displayed right now is that has just been formally adopted. So just make sure that you're aware of that as well, because that's, you'll see it referred to. It's a one-pager. Just have a read through and see how you go. So The three things, that is it for me. I'm very happy to answer any questions if you wish, but also appreciate you've got a busy day. Three things I want you to take away with. Where we are, we're here to help you. Ask for help when you need it. And basically, have fun. That's it. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Catherine.
Oh, if there are any questions, I'll look at that.
All right, so quick bit of information about orientation at Flinders. There is a Finding Your Way at Flinders topic. So it's a flow topic that you'll see on Flinders Learning Online, which is that learning management system that the video talked about before. So that's an online orientation topic. It just lets you know about how Flinders works, how university works, if you need it. Some of you might have already done some prior university studies. You don't feel that you need it, but it is really useful and does have quite a bit of information in there, including some kind of hacks and tips to help make your studying life a little bit easier. So I recommend checking that out. In terms of O Week, that's kind of this week, heading into Friday as well. Bedford Park, which is kind of the main bit up the top up there, is really activated on today and yesterday, which you've already missed, but anyway, mostly today, but there is some other events that are happening throughout the week. So there is a welcome hub, there's guided campus tours, and all of these sorts of things that you can see on the site here. The city campus is activated on Thursday, so if you are near the city and you want some more information about Flinders, you can head into the city campus as well. And there is some activation of FMC today, so there will be somebody down near the FMC entrance passing out merchandise and information as well. So after you've had your pizza, you'll be able to head up and have a chat with them if you need to. Connect Week is next week, so that's kind of part of this extended orientation session or program that Flinders runs. So again, there's a welcome hub, there's tours and things like that proceed into next week as well if you've missed out but you're interested. There's a community market, so there's cheap and free kind of food and things like that. There's other meditation groups, wellbeing workshops, FUSA events, so the Flinders University Students Association runs a whole heap of events and lots more happening as well. So check that out on the orientation planner. We actually run a survival skills in medical science session next week as well. It's actually on Monday. We're going to run it online this time because I think when people are just getting used to university, it gets a little bit hectic trying to organise your timetable. So when we've run it in person, we haven't had many people turn up. We'll try it online and see how it goes and we'll record it. But essentially the idea is there'll be a panel of past and current students who will kind of give you some ideas and tips around their experience, but also they're there to be able to answer questions that you might have that might have come to you between today and next week as well. So you can register via Eventbrite, and I've got that listed actually on our course flow site as well, but you can also access it via the orientation planner. Key dates, so O Week, Connect Week, I've already talked about those. Week 2, the end of week 2 of the semester, so 13th of March, is your last day to enrol in topics. So if you enrol in topics and go, actually, I don't like this topic, if it's an option topic, I want to actually unenrol from it, or something's changed and it's not going to work for me to be enrolled in this many topics anymore, you can change around and enrol into new topics up until the end of week 2. Census date, the 3rd of April, that's the end of week 5. That's actually the last day. If you withdraw from topics prior to that, you won't be charged for them and they won't be counted on your academic transcript. So again, if things change, you really dislike a topic and you don't want to continue with it, or you have to work more and you realise that you need to go down to only studying 2 topics or 3 topics compared to the standard 4, then withdrawing before that date will make sure that you're not going to be penalised essentially for doing that. 15th of May is the last day to withdraw without failure, so you'd still have to pay for the topic, but your grade becomes what we call a WN, withdraw no fail, but you don't have a fail on your transcript, which obviously a WN won't impact your GPA, but a WF does, or a withdraw fail or fail grade will. So again, if you're just the wheels fall off, you don't feel as if you're going to be able to pass the topic, it's more in your favour to withdraw before that date. Having said that, if the wheels fall off, contact us, have a chat with us. Let's see if we can work out a flexible pathway to enable you to pass that topic. But again, we want to make sure that you're aware that there are kind of these key dates where you can almost get out of jail free, if that makes sense. That's not the right term, it's not jail. Exams are 22nd of June to the 3rd of July. Some of your first year topics will have exams, some won't, but just note that it is expected that you're around during that examination period so that you can see any exams that might happen within your topics, and your topic coordinators will communicate that information with you. Top tips, visit canvas.flinders.edu to get familiar with the learning management system, so that's Flow. Keep an eye out for Ping, that's the student newsletter. It provides a lot of communication about things that are happening around the university, competitions, other supports and things like that. You can follow on social media, if that's for you. Join the Flinders University Student Association. We've said it a few times already, I think, but like I said, it's one of the key kind of messages that I want to pass on to students is don't be afraid to ask for help and seek help if you need it from those support services or from us or from Melissa Suckley, who's going to introduce herself in a minute. Do you want to do that now, Mel, or would you want a break? All right, we might get Mel to do her bit soon because she is rushing between many different orientation sessions. So we'll just come back to all of this that we're going to get through and jump ahead to Mel's slides so that she can actually make it to all of the other sessions that she has to make it to throughout the orientation sessions. Sorry if you were enjoying your coffee, I just wanted a bit of a break.
Have I sent you 2 slides or 1 slide?
2.
2, okay. Hey everybody, how you going? How's your morning been? Are you awake? Excellent. Welcome to Flinders and welcome to the College of Medicine and Public Health. We're really excited to have you here. Who is first time at uni, never been here before? Just a quick show of hands for me. Okay, and who's coming back to reskill? So you might have done an undergrad course in the past, welcome. International students? Yes, and anyone moved from outside Adelaide to be here who's not international? Lovely, welcome. We're really happy you're here. So I am the Student Success and Wellbeing Advisor for the College of Medicine and Public Health and for the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. My role is a bit of everything, and I'll get a bit more into that in a minute. But what I do is I spend a lot of time talking with students who are overwhelmed, stressed, stuck, not sure, and have been doing that for 2 and a bit years now. And so based on those conversations, I've put together hopefully my top 5 tips that will help you as you start this course and this new career path. So my top 5 tips for success at Flinders. Number 1 is to get clear on what's expected and to ask early. If you're not sure what your week is asking of you, what your assignment is asking of you, what your online materials are asking for you, put your hand up, ask a question, ask someone, ask Helen, ask your topic coordinators, get in touch with me, understand what it is that you're doing. We don't want you sitting at home at midnight the night before an assignment's due going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, and bailing and not handing it in. So clarity will reduce your stress and it will boost your confidence and it will improve your learning. Tip number 2 is to plan your study time and to protect it. How many of you are going to be working at the same time as studying? Yeah, lots of you. How many of you have maybe play professional sport or semi-professional sport? How many of you love going to the gym? How many of you enjoy catching up with your friends and your family? All of us. So a weekly rhythm of study time will help you stay on top of your learning, and it also means that you can dedicate time to other things that make you feel happy. So I would suggest if you're doing a full-time course, 3 to 4 study sessions per week that you lock in, that you don't negotiate away for anyone. They are your study times. Don't give them away when someone calls and says, do you want to go for a pizza? No, I'm studying, leave me alone. Tip number 3 is to start tasks before you feel ready. I know that I have been in the position of starting an assignment way too late, like 2 days before it's due, and then spending the next 48 hours trying to rush something and just getting it in. It's an awful, awful feeling. So when you start to get ideas, when teachers start to talk to you about assignments, take a few notes, open a Word document, write some dot points, write a few sentences. It will build momentum so that maybe when you do come back and you're cramming in that last week, you've already made a little bit of a start. Tip number 4 is don't study alone. So all the people here around you, you can lean on them for support, for information, form a study group, talk to your teachers, attend your classes, reach out when things get tough. If you're doing an online topic, post in the discussion boards and keep in touch with your teachers. When I did an online master's a few years ago, we created a WhatsApp group for each topic, and so we could talk to each other, we could complain, we could vent, but we could also ask for advice and information. So don't study alone, you don't have to do it. It's not a one woman or one man show. Use each other for information. And finally, look after your well-being. So sleep, movement, food, breaks, and being kind to yourself will all make learning easier. If you get a grade you weren't expecting, don't beat yourself up about it. Be kind to yourself, sit down, reflect, do something that makes you happy, and then move on to the next thing. And sleep is the most important. 8 hours a night you should be getting so that your brain can function well. So they're my top tips. You're probably going, we know all that, because you're all excellent students already. So how I can support you if you're doing all those things, because you're amazing, but you start to feel a bit overwhelmed, maybe a crisis hits, maybe stuff outside of uni is getting on top of you, and university becomes a lower priority, you can connect with me and I can support you to maybe get back on track, to refund some motivation or some focus. I can connect you with study skills support. We have loads on the campus, which I'm sure Helen's covered. Uni's a big place, lots of systems, lots of forms, lots of people to contact. If you're not sure, you can get in touch with me and we'll work it out together. And I can also refer you on to services. So if you've got a lot going on and you can't work out what to do in what order or which is the most important, I can help you to do that. So I can refer you to counselling, I can refer you off to the Students' Association for financial support or academic advocacy. I can connect you with learning skills, I can connect you with accommodation support, etc., etc. Now, how do you get in touch with me? You can book an appointment by scanning the QR code that you see, or by going to our website, which is students.flinders.edu.au/SWA, SSWA. And you can book a 30-minute appointment with me. I can talk to you on the phone, I can talk to you on Teams, I can talk to you in person. I'm up in the Student Hub on Mondays and Thursdays, and I'm in the Medical Centre at the college's reception on Wednesdays. So if you would like a chat, if you need any support whatsoever, if you're just not sure, please get in touch. You also might hear from me if Helen or any of the other medical science team are concerned about you. So if they notice something has changed for you, maybe you were coming to classes and handing everything in and then suddenly that stops. Or if you disclose to them that you're struggling a bit, they might say, oh, Mel, can you get in touch with this student? I'm a bit worried about them. So if you hear from me and you weren't expecting to, please don't be alarmed. Finally, I'll say that in about week 3, you'll get a text message that will say, how's life going at Flinders? Reply for support. That comes from my team. There's 3 of us looking after the whole uni, so please reply, but it might take us a day or so to get back to you. But if you have any questions whatsoever about anything at all to do with Flinders, please respond to the text and we'll get back in touch. Any questions? No? I will also say if anyone is neurodiverse and you feel like you need a little bit of accountability or some extra support to do time management or planning or just to keep on track with everything, our team can also provide that. So if you have ADHD, ASD, anything on the spectrum and would like a little bit of extra support through your journey, then do get in touch as well. Anything else? No? No? All right, have a great week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Mel. And as Mel said, we will, sometimes if we are concerned about you, we will refer you to Mel. Often we'll let you know that we have sent an email to Mel and that we are concerned about you, but sometimes we actually just will refer through. Again, if we have tried contacting you and we've not actually been able to get in touch with you, we'll try and make sure that somebody is reaching out to you. All right, we've got to head all the way back. We've just had a wonderful Flinders University Medical Science Student Society walk-in. We're running over time already, so a little bit longer and then you'll get your chance to introduce yourselves and chat. All right, so let's just chat a little bit about medical science. Medical Science course flow page. So again, flow, Flinders Learning Online. It looks like this when you go to your Okta dashboard. So many acronyms, I apologise. We would love to make it more straightforward. It's just not. You'll get used to it, I promise. So when you click on flow, you'll see a dashboard that'll have all of your different topics that you're studying. They should all be available now, all of your semester 1 topics. You should be able to see something for each of those topics. But you'll also see this Medical Sciences General Information site too. Here is where we post a lot of information about the course. So if you are struggling a little bit or there's something you're not sure about from a course perspective, you can check the flow site and see if that's there. I'll post announcements if I receive information about different job opportunities that are available, different seminars that we think are relevant to medical science students, just generalised information that we think is going to benefit you. I will post announcements there. They likely will come through to you as an email as well, but if you're not receiving announcements from this site, just go into the site and look at the announcements tab, just in case there is something that you've missed. In terms of our leadership team, like I said, I'm the course coordinator. We've got Vula as our lab med coordinator, Lara as our year 1 advisor, Benoit, who I think is going to be at the lunch, is the year 2 advisor, and Christine is our year 3 advisor. She is also the course coordinator for clinical science, so she's down at that orientation session today. If you've got questions about the course, you can ask any one of us those questions. If you're thinking about where is this course going to take me, what topics are best suited to my interests, we are more than happy to have conversations with you about that. Or, as similar to what Mel was saying before, I've just suddenly had some big challenges come up and I'm not sure what to do. We can help try and provide you some guidance with that. If you've got questions about your topics, then they're best directed towards your topic coordinator. The topic flow sites often will have a lot of information, so again, you can check those out and have a look. There might be topic information booklets or just broken down information on the flow site itself. In particular, the Finding Your Way module on each of the flow sites. If you need an assignment extension request, you'll see that as a tool on the flow site. If you've got an access plan, so if you have seen a disability advisor, that term is not quite correct because access plans actually are also available for people with caring responsibilities and things as well. If you are pregnant, as you get to the very last stages of pregnancy, you can actually get an access plan to support the needs of being heavily pregnant and trying to study at the same time. So there are multiple things that come up. If you break your leg, you can also speak with a disability advisor about how to go getting a temporary permit so that you can park a bit closer to some of your classes and all of those sorts of things. So just be aware that that term is actually very broad. And I think Melissa mentioned it before, but it also does incorporate chronic health conditions, mental health conditions. If you're neurodiverse and have accommodations that will help support your learning, then that can be set up and put in place with an access plan. You can share that with a topic coordinator. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's up to you. The access plans don't have much information on them except for here's the accommodations the student need. It doesn't list what your condition is. You can keep that completely confidential if you choose to. You obviously, again, can share that if you want to. All of the information about workshops, tutorials, practicals, all of that sort of stuff. Again, your topic coordinator and the topic flow site will be the best place to look for that. You can also ask peers, your peer mentor, and they'll be able to help you kind of navigate how to find information. You can also look at various leadership roles, so nominating yourself as a topic representative as well. Then you get to work really closely with the topic coordinator and think about how you can help improve the experience within that topic. Now, you might be sitting here, hopefully you've got a bit of an idea, medical science orientation, just to let you know. But you might be sitting there thinking, what am I doing here? And that's a really relevant question because medical science is a very broad degree and a lot of people take it for various different pathways that they're planning on moving forward. So there's lots of different graduate destinations, and as I said right at the start, there are different medical science programs. So we do have our Bachelor of Medical Science, we've got our Bachelor of Medical Science Accelerated, we've got our honours program, we've got laboratory medicine, and again, they can all lead to various different pathways. So you can also, if you're doing medical science, transfer into lab med, or you might be starting off in lab med, but that leads towards a pathway of working in diagnostic pathology labs. So working for SA Pathology, ClinPath, Australian Clinical Labs. Vula will talk you through that a little bit more shortly. You can finish a Bachelor of Medical Science and head straight into a work environment. So you might be a cardiac physiologist or cardiac technician, a sleep technician, things like that. You might go into sales, lab technicians, clinical trials. We have quite a few students that end up working at CMAX, a big clinical trials facility in the city, pharmaceuticals, loads of different options there. Or you might be using medical science as a pathway to other programs. So you might move into research, so honours and then a PhD. You might be taking this degree as a pathway into medicine. We do have that sub-quota that makes it a little bit more, not achievable, but what I want to say, it kind of gives you a bit of an advantage when you're applying for medicine here at Flinders. We do have pathways into nutrition, dietetics, speech pathology, audiology, occupational therapy and physiotherapy as well, amongst others. So there are even other pathways beyond that too. So what I want you to do is go to Mentimeter. So you can scan this QR code or you can go to menti.com, and we're just going to ask you a few questions now. So the QR code is up there. You can scan that, or like I said, just go to menti.com and use that code. Still surprises me each time I see that you can put emojis in Mentimeter. I wasn't aware of that until last year. So you can see the words that are bigger are words that multiple people are responding to. So it's kind of nice that excited is quite large, and it's also completely expected that nervous is also quite large. I'm a second year. Was that a mentor that put that in? Oh, okay, right. Possibly if you're a second year student and you were invited to this, it might be that you've transferred or shifted into a different version of medical science. All right, so you can see lots and lots of different feelings around starting the course. Quite a few on the positive side, that's excellent. I'm really glad to see that. Some on the not so positive side, so terrified, overwhelmed, nervous, all of those sorts of things. I'll say this in my topic as well, so for those of you that are having to do physiology with me this semester, you'll hear me repeat this, but what I do want to say is it is completely expected to be feeling a bit worried and a bit overwhelmed at this point. If that feeling continues into the first 5 weeks of your study, please reach out to us. So we're hoping that by week 3, you'll be going, yep, all right, I think I've worked it out a little bit now. I'm feeling a bit more comfortable. But if you are still feeling any of these more negative side emotions, then definitely reach out to us and we can help you hopefully navigate what's happening for you and hopefully help those kind of decrease a little bit. There will be other times where those will come back up again, especially during times where you've got lots of assignments due or exams. And again, that's not unexpected, but obviously if it's impacting your studies and your ability to function, then it starts becoming concerning. All right, what are you hoping to do after your degree? Terrible colour scheme. Yeah. Oh, that was save. All right, seems to be settling down now. So like I said, terrible colour scheme. Why do they have multiple options the same colour? Awful. But you can see how the numbers line up. Again, this is not unexpected that loads of people come into medical science looking at medicine as a final pathway. And I will quite happily say that we are the best preparatory pathway for medicine. And what we do find is that our medical science students are commonly regarded as being the better students once they get into medicine. So that I might be a bit biased from that, but that's absolutely, I have heard people say this too. It's not just me making it up. So what you might find though is you start off going, I'm here to go into medicine, and as you move through that changes, that we often see that as well, or you might see that other pathways kind of open up. All right. For those of you that don't know, again, hopefully different pieces of information will become available. You'll start to get to know different pathways and things that come up. And for those of you that are other, it'd be great to hear about what pathways you're hoping to get into. Some students use this as a pathway into paramedicine, so again, that's not unexpected. Or other pathways that they're kind of starting off here and are going to do transfers throughout their study. All right, have you enrolled in all of your topics for semester 2? Oh, semester 2, I meant semester 1. Great that a lot of you have already enrolled. For those of you that have said help, or you don't know what the required topics are, or you don't know how to do this, hopefully we'll help you support through that throughout the rest of this session. Have you accessed the course site or your topic sites on Flow? All right, great to see lots of you have accessed the site. I highly recommend jumping on board. There's no learning that would have been put up on Flow yet, but there should be a bit of topic information so that you can kind of know what you need to get going. And again, if you've said help, come and chat to us during the lunch and we can help you try and navigate that a bit. What are you hoping to learn about the course and Flinders today? I'll give you an opportunity just to put that in. Hopefully we'll address it as we go through. If not, I'll try and gather this up and make sure that we put information and make it available to you as you go through. We better move along. So I think some of this we will answer as we move through, but I'll check through it afterwards. And if there's things that we haven't really gone through or that I can see are quite major themes, I'll put together a bit of a information sheet, I guess, and share that on the Flow side as well. But hopefully some of this we'll talk about as we move through. And apologies if you thought this was mandatory, it is highly recommended. So I think you'll still get something out of it if you're sitting here going, why did I come here? All right, let's jump back into the presentation. All right, so I will just say this is some work that we've done looking at where our medical science alumni have ended up. So looking at LinkedIn and trying to track back to see where they end up going in terms of their career. You can see all of these highlighted in yellow are where we're seeing the most students end up. So certainly we've got quite a few that have gone into speech pathology. Some are medical scientists working in those diagnostic pathology labs. Some will move into kind of quite separate areas where medical science is still a really useful basis within those programs. We've got quite a few that head into research, and we absolutely do have a lot that end up moving into that medical kind of clinical pathway. All right, so study plans for medical science. If you have done Year 12 chemistry, these are the topics that we recommend you enrol into within the semester 1 and semester 2. If when you're looking at the option topics, and I'll talk about them shortly, there's option topics that sit in semester 1, you can either do chemistry 1A in semester 2 to open up a semester 1 option, or you can do how your body works in semester 2 as an online only option as well. So you could look at transferring those down into that second semester if you find an option topic that is only offered in semester 1. If you've not done Year 12 chemistry, our chemistry team highly recommend you do general chemistry in semester 1 to better prepare you for chemistry 1A. So Chem 1A is core for the topic. You have to do that to meet the requirements of medical science, or for the course I should say. But general chem is the best preparation for that if you haven't done Year 12 chem. So if that's you and you've enrolled in Chem 1A up here, what I recommend is unenrolling in that and enroll in general chemistry for the moment instead. So all of these different courses have that common first year, except BMSA also includes this psychology topic in semester 2, or you can do that over the summer as well. All right. So, various courses, we've talked about that. There's different majors that you can choose from that sit within those courses. Essentially, a lot of this information you can find on Handbook, and there's the link here, but then you can see the different associations. So the Accelerated Course is an award association of medical science. You can see there is the Combined Degree Association, so a Bachelor of Medical Science, Bachelor of Engineering, and you can see the Bachelor of Medical Science Honours here. LabMed sits kind of in its own handbook. So Handbook is one of the core places to see your different topic options, see the requirements of your course and all of those sorts of things. In terms of the topic information, Handbook is where you can find how much things are worth within your topic. That's where you'll be able to see if you have exams for the topic, because it'll list it in your assessments, and it'll also talk about what the tuition pattern is. So does that topic have lectures? Does it have seminars? Does it have practicals? What do you actually need to attend to take part in that topic? The course flow site, I've put a link to the various different study plans. So you'll see this is on the course site, the 2026 enrolment guides for medical science and laboratory medicine. You'll see this same slide here about if you've done Year 12 Chem, here's what we recommend you enrol into. If you haven't, here's what we recommend. And then you can click on each of those links to look at the various study plans with all the different majors incorporated in it. So for medical science now, and this has just been a recent thing for 2026 entry, we've done a restructure process of what courses look like at Flinders. So for medical science now, you have this common first year where you get a couple of option topics available. Then you have to do our core medical science minor. So that's a biochemistry topic, human physiology, medical skills, or skills for medical scientists 2 and skills for medical scientists 3. Then you select a major, and so those topics will mostly sit in second and third year, and then you can either do another minor, so 4 more topics, or you can select 4 option topics. So that's the new structure of how these courses look. Don't panic about majors just yet. So you don't actually have to select that until the end of this year, and then you can start thinking about what major you'll get into as you move forward. But we'll also hold another event towards the end of the year, just before enrolments open up for Year 2, so that we can talk you through the various majors and provide a bit more information about them then. And I think you'll be able to have a bit more of an idea about the pathway that you're looking to going based on what your experiences that you've had in first year. Option topics for year one. So there's a list on handbook and I've got the list here. We actually were only allowed to include 10 topics within that list. However, if you see another option topic throughout the university that you think is relevant to you and to medical science, I'm more than happy for you to email me and say, I'm actually really interested in this option topic. Could I have that incorporated into my study plan? And I will absolutely look at that and hopefully be able to make that happen. So for example, if you do Chemistry 1A in semester 1, and you're really interested in chemistry, you could look at incorporating Chemistry 1B in semester 2. There's a topic called Introduction to Digital Health. That's quite relevant for medical science. Strengths-based approach to health, working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. There's some psychology topics and things like that. So again, if these option topics don't appeal to you, have a look at what other option topics are around the university and then contact me if you're interested in those. All right, so the various majors, I've already said you don't need to decide now. If you're wanting a slightly more flexible major, the health and medical research and the medical studies majors are the most flexible. BMSA, so the accelerated version of the course, doesn't include the medical studies major. The reason for that is we don't recommend for students that are wanting to get into medicine to take BMSA. Why we say that is it can be quite hard doing 5 topics and being able to get high marks in all 5 topics. It can be quite, it's just hard in terms of time management. Students don't end up producing the work that they would like to, and so their GPA might not end up being as high as what they'd like. But also, if you're sitting for GAMSAT, which is kind of the postgraduate medicine entry test, you need to try and fit that in while you're also doing 5 topics, and that can be quite tricky. What I will say is, none of these majors will help you get into medicine, and none of them will kind of prevent you from going in any of the various pathways that our medical science students can go into. They're really just a way of you being able to create a bit more of a defined pathway for yourself as you move through the course. So my biggest recommendation is follow your interest. Look at the different topics that sit in the majors and see what you're interested in, because if you're interested in it, you're more likely to be motivated to study, you're going to do better in it, and that's going to open up more pathways for you. So when you do, if you are looking at going to medicine, the medical admissions for Flinders don't care what major you did. And so again, go with what interests you. Don't just kind of go, well, I must do medical studies because that's related to medicine. It's just not the case. So go with what interests you and what you think you'll do the best in, which is always going to be the thing that you actually enjoy. And I've already said we'll run that event closer to 2027. So there should be a little thing on this. Yeah, immunology and infectious diseases. Like I said, we're going to give you more information about this, but I just wanted to lay it out so you could see some of the topics that sit within that major. There's things like virology, microbiology, immunology, pathophysiology, hematology and transfusion science, and then there's an option topic sitting within that. So you take these 7 topics and you can pick one of those topics to complement that major. For physiology, neuroscience, anatomy, again, there's 7 topics, and then you can pick an extra topic as part of that major. Why these aren't coming up? For molecular medicine, again, that's probably a tiny bit more flexible. There's 6 core topics within the major, and then you can pick 2 of the other option topics. So molecular medicine is things like biochemistry, genetics, all the small stuff that lead to cellular processes that then lead to things happening within our body. Health and medical research, again, like I said, that's one of the most flexible. There's 4 core topics, and then that allows you to pick, or it's actually 5 core topics because placement here counts for 2, and then you get to pick 3 extra topics. Again, what interests you? What areas are you wanting to look at more closely as you move through your studies? And medical studies has 5 key topics and then 3 option topics that you select as that. I've highlighted these because they're both first year topics. So if you're interested in taking this major and you want to include one of those first year topics, include it in your first year of studying so that then that opens up pathways and enables you to be able to complete all of the topics that you need to within your time frame. All right, a little bit about opportunities and career development in medical science. So we do have opportunities here at Flinders where you can do exchanges to other universities. We've got partner exchanges where it's a relatively straightforward process, although Elsie has recently done one and will be able to tell you it wasn't that straightforward, but I think that was the other uni's fault more so. That's what I'm going to blame. But there are also short-term programs as well. So essentially you can go over, do some study over there, and then you get credit for those topics that count towards your degree back here. We do need to make sure the topics align, so it's a little bit more complicated than just, I've seen a course that I want to go study. But if you're interested in looking at those opportunities, it's absolutely something that some of our students end up doing. And it's rewarding regardless, even if it can be a bit messy. Research opportunities. We have the Summer Research Awards that open up at the end of kind of each year. It's about August that you start needing to apply for those. So you can work within a research lab for a few weeks over the summer period and be paid to do that. We do have our third year professional placement topic. So that's worth 2 topics, as I mentioned before. You again work in a lab for that whole semester performing research, so taking part in a research project, and then you present that research. And we've had some students do amazing work within their placements. This booklet here does have, it's a little bit old now, we're waiting for an updated kind of version, but that does have some information about some of the projects that people have going on. A lot of the lecturers that you have throughout your time here at Flinders will have research projects that they're taking students on. So if you really like what somebody lectures in, you could always chat to them and say, hey, what's your research? And would you be interested in taking a placement student or a summer research student? There's obviously then also honours and leading into a PhD if that's something that interests you. We are tightly affiliated with FMRI, so the Flinders Health and Medical Research Institute. Essentially that sits within our college, even though some of the other colleges do have research that's under FMRI. And that big brown building that's kind of down there near the train station is our Health and Medical Research building. So if you do a research project, a summer research project placement, it's likely that you'd be based in that building or in one of our labs down at FMC, so actually in the hospital as well. Some of those research projects are very traditional kind of sciencey projects. You're at a bench, you've got your lab coat on, goggles, glasses, gloves, all of those sorts of things, and others are more clinically relevant or they might be more patient-facing. So we do have a sleep health team here at Flinders as part of FMRI. They're actually one of our biggest research centres within the university, and so they have people doing research where they're speaking with patients about their sleep and running sleep tests and things like that. Professional development as a student. So as you move into second year, there's opportunities to be a facilitator in our Skills for Medical Science topic. There's opportunities to be a peer mentor. There's different professional development activities in Career Hub. And Career Hub does have its own kind of medical science area that you can get involved in. They'll put different things about different jobs actually within that, but they also communicate it to us to put on our flow site. There's leadership opportunities, so you can get involved with FUME, so Flinders University Medical Science Society, or you can be a topic rep, and we do have these employability roadmaps as well that you can check out that kind of just map out, here's things you can do in year 1 to help improve your professional development, here's things you can do in year 2, here's things that you can do in year 3. I've already mentioned Career Hub, but Meg Alexander, our Career Hub kind of guru that works with us for medical science, is amazing, and she makes sure that there's lots of information that gets put up there. She also has jobs that she'll link to there that are jobs that you can do while you work. So for somebody that put up there about making money, there sometimes are careers that you can do as you're studying that are actually relevant to medical science. So keep an eye on that. We do have prizes in medical science. So there is a Bachelor of Medical Science prize for academic excellence. So that's obviously academic based. It's, by the end of your third year, student with the highest GPA and who ended up getting the highest score in our Skills for Medical Science Scientist topic or 3 topic will be awarded that prize. There's a Research Excellent prize for the student who receives the highest mark in our research placement topics. But then we've also got a prize for social accountability and for university inclusion and support. So those can either be peer nominated or self-nominated, and highly recommend if you're doing things, in the community that are benefiting the community, these are excellent prizes to apply for. There's also the Australian Institute of Medical and Clinical Sciences, so AIMS Award for Academic Excellence, and an award for presentation of a clinical case study report. And we did just recently have a student win that award last year. Yes? Yeah. Well, and she won the big one though, right? Oh, we've won 2, yeah. Yeah, the external one. We've had a student win the external one. So this one is within the university, you can win that one, but then you can also apply externally. And yeah, we've had great success with that. Clothing, if you're interested in medical science clothing, whoops, you can see I'm losing my concentration now as well. Corporate Image do sell polo shirts. They've got you can ask for the Flinders University Medical Science logo on them, or you can get a lab coat with that. If you're doing lab med, you actually do have to buy some branded clothing as you move into your placement year so that you can be recognised as a student while you're on placement. For just the other medical science courses, you don't actually have to buy this, but it's there if you're interested. And Fumes also sell merch, so jumpers and t-shirts and things like that, so you can highlight that you're a medical science student. All right, Karen is not here yet, is she? Raise your hand if you're here, Karen. No? All right, I'll pass you over to Vula to chat through Lab Med.
Hi everyone, I'm Vula Kaganis and I'm the Program Coordinator for the Medical Science Laboratory Medicine Program. Hands up, who's in Lab Med? And I have a feeling it's about 10 of you here today, going from the Mentee. Very nice. I look forward to meeting you a bit later on when we're down in the Level 4 seminar area having some pizza. So I've got a few different roles within the college. One of them is being Program Coordinator of the Lab Med degree, which I'm really proud of, and I've got an excellent team of academics who work with me to deliver that program, and we've delivered it now since 2022, and lots of graduates and 100% employment rate in diagnostic labs at the end of it. So we're really proud of the course, and I'm really happy to be here to tell you about it. One of the other roles that I have is Teaching Program Director, and I do that for all the clinical programs in the college, so you might see me doing that. So it's for medicine and paramedicine and a couple of other clinical courses, and you'll see me teaching in your topics as well. So I teach in MMed 1005, which is your physiology first year topic, in 1007, which is your first year semester 2 topic. And also I run a very large physiology topic in second year, which has about 560 students. And we are almost ready to rock and roll for this year, next week. So we'll see how we go. But you will see me many times through your course. So the difference primarily, I guess, about the laboratory medicine degree, and I do get this question a lot at orientation, is that it is designed to develop graduates who work specifically in diagnostic pathology laboratories. So whereas the medical science degree is a broad generalist degree, it can lead you to many different outcomes. The lab med degree, and lab med is what we usually reference it for short, is designed to gear students to go into that diagnostic pathology career, which in itself has a number of different options, but it is in the diagnostic pathology space. And in so, we have to make sure that we abide by the accreditation standards from the National Peak Accrediting Body, which is the Australian Institute of Medical and Clinical Scientists. So our program is fully accredited, and we've recently been re-accredited to 2027. It's a cyclic process that we keep having to meet guidelines and competency standards for the accrediting body to make sure that those graduates are going into the diagnostic sector fully capable of doing the job that they're meant to. So the BMS Lab Med degree has 1 full year of placement. So that's a critical difference between the 3-year medical science degree. So 4 years, and the final year has, it's not exactly 1,000 hours, but it's nearly 1,000 hours of placement where you can get to choose a number of different options, which I'll go through shortly. So if you want to find out some more information about AIMS, there's a couple of links there, but it is the peak regulatory body for medical scientists who work in diagnostic laboratories. In terms of the study plan, it is quite small. I don't think you can see it that well, but please feel free to go into Handbook and have a look at the study plan. It is pretty fixed. It isn't as flexible as the medical science generalist program for the reason that it is for diagnostic pathology. And I'll show you in a moment that there are a lot of different professional discipline areas for diagnostic pathology, and that means if you're going to be heading out into the workforce in any one of those opportunities, we need to prepare you for that. And so the study plan covers those professional discipline areas to make you, one of the most employable multidiscipline graduates that we can. Having said that, you're going to share many of your classes with the medical science group, and you'll get to meet lots and lots of other students from across the university in those really large topics that we have, like physiology. The regional scholarships are available for anyone who wants to do a placement in the regions, and this is an incredibly good opportunity for anyone who's considering that. A couple of reasons. One is because students who undertake a regional placement are more likely to go into a multidisciplinary lab. They're more likely to become a senior laboratory scientist because there is a shortage in diagnostic laboratory scientists in the regions, so it's more likely that you will end up running your own lab if you do that. And with this regional scholarship opportunity, it's in partnership with SA Pathology, and SA Pathology is the state's public pathology provider. So they've got there's 10 different regional laboratory sites that if you choose to, you can do your placement in. And if there's more than one applicant, we'll run a process of application, and we've actually got 2 opportunities for students to take up this scholarship. The scholarship means you'll get a sum of money to go towards your placement year, and then it is guaranteed that you will have a medical scientist level 1 job offer from SA Pathology the very following year that you graduate in one of the regions that needs that boosting, that support in employment. So incredible opportunity if any of the laboratory medicine students are wishing to take that up. Now, the professional placement, as I said, is the point of difference. So it is that extra year. It is split up into a semester 1 and semester 2 placement topic, which Dr. Erskine is the placement education coordinator, and she'll be available to chat to if you'd like to find out some more about the program. It is an opportunity where you get to choose or make preferences as to which diagnostic labs you can go in, and there's so many. There's easily over 50 different opportunities across the state in tertiary and quaternary hospitals, and also across the regions and in the Northern Territory in Darwin Hospital. The 3 providers that we use are SA Path, which is the public pathology provider, and 2 private pathology providers, which is ClinPath and Australian Clinical Labs, and no doubt you would have seen them in the community. The disciplines I was mentioning earlier, there are, I can't remember how many, I think there's 8. You can probably count them. But the discipline areas are there so that when you graduate from the laboratory medicine program, you're then a multidiscipline accredited medical scientist. So you could potentially choose to go and work in any one of these laboratories. And that makes us a point of difference in that you will get that grounding and that knowledge, theoretical and practical, across your 3 years and your placement year. So it's things like anatomical pathology, so places where you might get like a biopsy sent or some cells or a surgical resection that's gone to pathology to get tested. Chemical pathology, which is probably, I think, the most common one that we would interface, where you'd have like some blood drawn and it gets sent to the chemical pathology unit for testing. Genetics and molecular pathology, there's really great opportunities in that lab for research as well, and they solve really complex genetic problems. Haematology, and we have a blood bank here in the hospital as well. Immunology and microbiology and infectious diseases. And we've had students, I dare say, and I'm going to look at Lara, who's our coordinator here, that have gone into every single one of these laboratories, both metropolitan and regional in the multidiscipline labs, which is incredible. So the metropolitan sites are listed there, and they're just your, the hospitals that we'd be aware of, from the north down to the south, east and west, and in the regional areas too. So anyone who's keen on a regional laboratory placement, you might even be from there or have family, and it might be something of an opportunity to be back home to do your placement. And as I've mentioned, there are single discipline labs, mostly for the metropolitan labs, and the multidiscipline labs for regional areas. And I think that I could probably tell you, hours worth of information about LabMed, but it is best spoken to you and retold to you in a narrative from our students. This is Hannah Gaps, and Hannah is one of our graduates, and she's got her story, if you wanted to QR code that and have a read of it a bit later, about how she first came in as a first-year student, orientation just like this. She popped her hand up and she said, yep, she wanted to do medicine as well. And then along the way, what happens is your horizons actually get broadened because your lecturers who are researchers, or they might be education specialists, they open your perspective to see that there are so many other opportunities that you probably never even dreamed of. And for Hannah, that's what happened, and she decided that she'd probably like to do a bit of research, and then she'd like to go into diagnostic pathology. And here at Flinders, we had that opportunity for her to take that up. We also have another degree program, which is the Associate Degree in Medical Science Laboratory Medicine. It is 2 years in duration, and I want to just make that really clear that it does not form part of the accreditation from AIMS. It is a nested degree, and what that means is it's got more accessible pathways for entry, which means that a student can come in from Year 12, access the 2-year program, and if they meet the progression requirements, they can then come into the bachelor degree, which is accredited. But if a student didn't want to do that, and there might be some associate degree students in here, we've got a couple enrolled this year, they can leave the program with their parchment and their qualification as a technical scientist, which are equally highly sought after. And the technical scientists in the laboratories for diagnostic pathology support the medical scientists to do everything that's needed to run the lab. So if you wanted to talk to me a little bit more to me about the associate degree, I'm happy to do that a bit later on too. Helen's mentioned the badged polo tops and shirts and whatnot, and it's definitely not a requirement from years 1 to 3. However, when you do start placement for laboratory medicine, it is an expectation that you have some professionalism about your approach to going to those placement sites. They are our industry partners, and they are handling patient information, and it is a professional business, I guess, in terms of providing that diagnostic service. So our students need to be appropriately dressed so that they can, people will see that they are from Flinders University and that they know you're a student, and to allocate the tasks appropriately to you. They're also quite nice to wear. You don't have to decide what to put on in the morning, which I wish sometimes I had a uniform. All available on Corporate Image, so please have a look at that webpage. And having said that, if you are a Year 1 to 3 student and you want to have a polo so that you don't need to choose what to wear every day, please feel free to do so as well. I think that's the end for me, and I'll look forward to having pizza and a chat with the Lab Med students a bit later on. I'm going to now pass over to Helen, who's going to introduce our Dean.
Yes, so we've already skipped ahead and had Mel speak, so now we will jump ahead further. And I will introduce our Dean of Education, Professor Karen Lower.
Thanks, Helen and Vola. Hi, everyone. I'm literally going to talk for 60 seconds because I know that you've had a lot of information already this morning, and I think that there's pizza possibly in half an hour or so, maybe a bit longer, waiting. We'll try, right. Okay, so I'm not going to add to it unnecessarily. Just wanted to come and introduce myself. My name's Karen. I'm the Dean of Education for the college. So what that means is that I am responsible for the delivery of all of our courses in the college. There's 23. Medical science is one of our larger ones, so welcome. Of course, we have medicine, paramedicine, and a whole heap of other clinical-facing courses and public health courses as well. I just wanted to say my 3 sort of tips are engage, enjoy, and reach out. So please engage with these amazing educators that you're meeting today and that you'll come across in your first few topics, first year, etc. Honestly, just take the most opportunity that you can in terms of stepping into that learning space, engaging with the content, learning skills, and really thinking about how it's going to help equip you on your pathway moving forward, whether it might be you're interested in medicine, you're interested in research, maybe laboratory medicine. There's a whole heap of different pathways you can go into from this course. Second thing is enjoy. It really is a fantastic time. Some of my best memories were as a uni student, so really do make the most of it. Meet people, join groups, join clubs. Don't study 24/7, but study quite a bit, but make sure that you do, you have that sort of university experience as well. And please reach out. If anything happens, if you're struggling, if you need help, if you have a crisis, for instance, and sometimes life happens to all of us, please reach out. You have year coordinators, so I think it's Lara, the amazing Lara, is your very, very approachable, very understanding first year coordinator. You obviously met Helen, your course coordinator. Mel, there should be a list of people that you can reach out to, and I'm very happy to be on that list. If at any point in time you need help, please don't wait, please reach out. We're here for you. This is our job, and we all want the same thing, which is for you to have an amazing experience in the course and the college. That's all I wanted to say. Super fast, as promised. I'll hand back to Helen. I'll hang around for a little bit and I might try and steal a bit of pizza.
Good. All right, thank you very much, Karen. And yeah, just, as we've all said so many times about reaching out for support if you need it, we actually will also do kind of what we call nudges. So in first few weeks of courses, if we're seeing that you're not engaging, you will get an email from us that kind of says, hey, we can see that you haven't done this or you haven't completed this bit of work. Here's all the different support services, reach out if you need. So again, hopefully that's one of the key takeaways that you'll get from this. I'm not going to go through these because some of it was on the initial presentation that you saw, except to say for this, definitely register for the Better You blog because it does send a lot of information around different studying tips and all of those sorts of things. And again, different programs that are happening around the university to help support your wellbeing. Career Curious, we've already talked about Career Hub, but again, there's just some information there. Academic integrity, you'll hear about that enough in your topics, so I'll leave that. Student Learning Support Service, the only thing I'll quickly say about this is that they have loads of different services, loads of different ways that you can access support through the Student Learning Support Service. They're not just there for if you're doing badly, they're there to help support your success right from the start. So in particular, if you want all high distinctions, then go to them and talk about that you want all high distinctions, and they'll be able to give you some tips in terms of really good studying practices, how to make the most of different assessments and how to get the most out of the various assessments as well. And more importantly, how to strengthen your learning process so that you can be more successful in what you're doing. So you can speak in person to somebody, you can speak in line to somebody. There is a flow site, an SLSS flow site that has a lot of online kind of self-access tips and things as well. And you can also access the study buddy, so a little AI study buddy or a feedback buddy to run drafts of your work through and ask questions that has been trained by SLSS staff, so actually by learning advisors who are experts in their field in making the most out of your learning experience. There is the Flinders Neurodivergent Study Support and Advocacy Group. That was actually founded by one of our medical science students who is amazing. So if this appeals to you, then there's a Facebook group, but you can also access them via the email there. There's also a new neurodivergent community of practice that's been started up around the university, and you can find information for that through that Better You site that I had up before. Other services, again, these have somewhat already been talked about, but there are prayer rooms, conversation groups, there are equal opportunity advisors, there's a Pride Network, Good Vibes Experiment. So much happens around the university that's not just your academic learning environment. There is a common room down in FMC, so if you are spending a lot of the day down in Flinders Medical Centre, there's a common room. It's kind of just next to the cafe on level 4, which your mentor can either show you or tell you where that is. There's a code to access, so the room itself is 4E109, so it'll be on level 4 where we will be having pizza on the level 4 in the level 4 seminar area, and the code is 9014. Some students think that that's only for the medical students. It's not. It's for any student studying at Flinders who is based in FMC. So absolutely take advantage of that. You can see there's, I think there's kettles and stuff, but there's also microwaves and things. There's couches. There's places to be able to just hang out if you are spending a lot of time in the medical centre. All right, now I'm going to pass it over to Lara.
Thank you, Helen. Yes, welcome everyone. I think this is the most full I've ever seen this room. It's great to see all of your faces. So yes, I'm the Year 1 coordinator, Year 1 advisor, whatever you want to call that, and run the peer mentoring program, which we're going to be talking a bit about today as well. So if you need enrolment advice, course advice, you have questions about your Year 1 topics, you have academic progression concerns, or you just want to talk about topic selection, please reach out. And now that Mentimeter has given, is revealed how you're all feeling today, whoever wrote horrified, please make sure you reach out. And whoever wrote fire or gangster, don't feel bad if you have to reach out, okay? So where are you going to see me? Let's go through the years. You will see me in Skills for Medical Scientists 1, a lecture into that topic. first year cell biology, which is in second semester, human molecular genetics in second year, skills for medical scientists 3 in third year, and then as Vorla mentioned before, I run the clinical placement year for our laboratory medicine degree. So everyone who's in lab med is going to be so sick of seeing me by the end of their 4 years. All right, let's go to Mentimeter. Have you been to university before? Yep, these numbers are looking like what we expected. So for most of you, you haven't been to uni before, it's your first time. So our mentors, who I'm going to introduce shortly, are an excellent resource to help get you settled here. And so all of those services that have been mentioned in the FUSA video throughout this presentation, if you can't find that information, go to your mentors. They're going to absolutely going to be able to point you in the right direction. Do you know anyone else starting this degree? Oh, we've got quite a few, yes. Wow, this is close to 50-50. I was not expecting that. Oh. I don't know if that's too personal, Helen. Okay, it was about 50-50. So I'm going to assume that most of you, if you do know someone, you're probably sitting close to them. So I want everyone to look at the person who's next to them. And then on 3, I want everyone to either shake hands or give them a little wave if you're not into contact sports and introduce yourselves. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, now I want everyone to look to their other side and introduce themselves on 3. 1, 2, 3. This is fantastic. So if we look back at our Mentimeter, there are quite a few people who said, how are we going to connect with other students? How are we going to make some friends? That's what I'm here for today. This is exactly the, how easy it's going to be. And this is what I want you to do when you meet your mentor groups, okay? Okay, let's move on to the next question. Ooh, do you feel that you know everything about uni already and won't have any problems? Feel okay? We're feeling all right? Where are those people who commented fire and gangster? We should have at least 2 in that first category. So yeah, you feel okay. So preparation is really key to make sure you're on a trajectory for academic success. And make sure that you know where you can go for help. And again, your mentors are an excellent resource. They're well trained, they're very knowledgeable. Please go to them first. And they're probably the most approachable out of everyone here. Not saying we're not approachable, but it's a lot easier to go to one of your peers. All right, I believe that we are going back to the presentation. Come on. Oh, apologies, I should have gone to that slide. Okay, so our peer mentoring program, what is this program designed to do? So as we've mentioned many, many times, provide support to all of you for your transition into a tertiary learning environment, provide knowledge on these support services, an understanding of policies and procedures. These kinds of things can be difficult to navigate, especially when you're new to them. Sharing academic survival tips. So please, if you can, try and attend Survival Tips for Medical Science, which is next Monday. That's just online. Sorry, I probably completely butchered what it's actually called. Survival Skills. Survival Skills. There we go. And also help build self-confidence and social networks. So not long ago, depending on what year your peer mentor is in, probably about a year ago for most of them, I would say, they're in your shoes, sitting right here, and we were talking to them. They understand, student lifestyle, student expectations. They understand all of the resource management, so flow, email, student system. Earlier on, Mel mentioned putting your fan and student ID number in your email signatures. So if you need help with something like that, Mentors is an absolutely great place to go for that kind of help. And also student etiquette. So how do you get involved? So you actually already are. It's an opt-out program. You've automatically been placed into a mentor group. So if you look at your name tags, you should have a number on there, and that will tell you which mentor group you're in. If you don't have a number on your name tag, or you didn't get a chance to get a name tag because we needed to start on time, please make sure you get your name tag before we head down to level 4. If you don't have a number on your name tag, please make sure you see me downstairs before you go and grab some pizza, and then we can pop you in the right group. So downstairs in FMC, we have 7 tables. Please go and sit at the table that corresponds to your number and meet your peers and your mentors. So what your mentor's going to do after your meeting is email you with their details, and as a group you're going to decide on when your mentor group is meeting and where your mentor group is meeting, and this info is also available on Flow. So I'll just show you what that looks like. Oh, apologies. Let's keep going before we go and look at Flow. So make sure you attend the meeting. So these meetings are weekly before mid-semester break, so weeks 1 to 6, these are every week, and then fortnightly after the mid-semester break, so weeks 7, 9 and 11. And your mentors are going to keep in regular communication with you to make sure that you're all on the same page for where and when these are, just in case any things have to change, especially when trying to get multiple timetables to work together is quite difficult. Okay, so you can change mentor groups if there's timetable clashes. So when you go onto the Medical Science Flow site, there is under the Year 1 Peer Mentoring Program module, a mentor information and session times page. And this is just a screenshot to show you what that will look like. So it will tell you a bit about the mentors that we have, when they're going to meet, so what day and what time, and where this will be. So if the group that you're placed in doesn't fit in with your timetable, or your timetable changes, you can go and see any of the mentors. That's absolutely fine. Where's my mouse? Here we are. Okay, so if I can have our mentors standing up, please. We can introduce you to the crowd. So these little smiley faces just represent those mentors that I didn't have a chance to put pictures up in time. My apologies. So our laboratory medicine mentors, we've got Talia, Cara, and Afreen. Medical Science Honours Stream mentors, we've got Anasi and Diani. BMS Accelerated, we've got Driti. And Medical Science, we've got Chanel, Jess, Petra, Laura, Hannah, and Guppy here with Bridget, as well as Jovian and Joni, who are represented by those smiley faces. So look at their faces, recognise them. They are very, very approachable, and mentors, make sure you make yourselves well known during the lunch session, so because you just blend in so well. Okay. I don't know if that was lame or actually funny. So I'm going to hand back over to Helen. I'll be down at the lunch as well, so if you have any questions, please come and see me.
We can just have...
You want to go straight to fumes? Okay.
Straight up, yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Ariana or Ari, whichever one you guys prefer.
And I'm Elsie, the Vice President.
I am the President of the Flinders Medical Science Society. We just wanted to do a little spiel about the Society. This year we're really doing a big focus on creating community and social events and a lot more fun. So we've got a few planned already, which we'll post on our social media. We'll have a little link later in the slides. But yeah, we've created it just so that students can connect with one another, find community at uni, because it can get very lonely sometimes, especially when we're all going for the same thing. So it's nice to have people that you can turn to, study with. We're going to do some study sessions as well. So lots of things to look forward for you guys. Our past events, which we will also be doing this year, are social nights, quiz nights or movie nights, pub crawls, and Envia balls. And then new this year is going to be our start of the year welcome mixer, which we're thinking around the 13th of March, which is week 2, Friday. And then a pub golf at the end of the semester, and then wellness events, so like community hikes, walks. We're also doing, thinking of doing salty sips and stuff like that with like a group of us, so you don't have to go by yourself. And those are just photos from the few years that we've been in Fumes. This is just a little introduction to our committee. We've also got some of the committee members in today, so if they want to stand up and just wave. So over there we've got Elijah and Hamza, who are two of our events managers, and over there is Sam doing social media. So if you see her taking photos, she'll be taking pics today, and Kara's up there, who's also a mentor.
But if you saw in there, we've got a second year rep and a third year rep for medical science. So they work in the cohort and encourage people to come to the events and act as a voice for their year level and their needs and things. But we're looking for a first year rep, so that'll be one of you guys. If you want to build your skills in communication, teamwork, a little bit of event management, it's a really good opportunity to have a bit more of a role in Fumes. It's great to build your skills, and if you're an outgoing person or just want to, have a leadership role at uni to start off with, it's a really good option. It's not too time intensive. I was a first year rep 2 years ago. You can do as much as you want or just be involved in encouraging people to go to the events. Yeah, it's just a good opportunity. But that deadline for applications will be the end of next week, so end of your first week of uni, 6th of March. And there'll be details for how to apply in our Instagram, which you can access through that QR code there. And you just go to our link tree up the top of our profile, and you'll be able to pop your application in there. It'll probably be something quick and easy, like what's your past experience, what are your passions, what do you like to do outside of uni, and what would you like to do this year? And we also have a membership for Fumes, it's only $15, and it's across the 3 or 4 years of your degree. And it gets you discounts to all of our events that are paid, and also the merch that we come out with a couple times a year, which is really cozy hoodies and things. Yeah, we've all got a little bit of merch, I reckon. Mm-hmm. Definitely use that QR code. We've got lots of details, tips and tricks about medical science study, but also the events that are upcoming. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I think we're the last ones, and then we're going to go get pizza. Yeah, cool.
I also just wanted to say, you've obviously got your mentors, which are really great for day-to-day things like your classes and asking questions. But if you see us around, feel free to ask us anything, and especially about Fumes things or getting to know your peers and things. We're always happy to answer some questions and happy to have a chat.
You can also DM us and we'll just respond to you guys if you don't want to come in person. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm always so impressed. When I was a student, the thought of getting up and presenting in front of this many people would have horrified me, and I absolutely would have not done it. So well done, that was amazing. So we are going to now walk down to FMC, so you can follow Vula and the mentors to head down. For those of you that don't have a name tag, come and see me and we'll try and find you one. If you don't have a mentor group number, you can chat with Lara down in FMC.
Do we get a name tag?
What was your age?
What was it?
Same. 92, around 92 at that point.
Wait, how did you get here? A bus or something?
Bus.
Okay.
I had to get on two of them. One after.
Wait, how long? How far are you living?
Was annoying, right? Like, how does it work? You think I'm learning from as well. Yes, and then after the same question. Yes. And then the next one is what?
I will be following shortly, so if you get lost, I'll pick you up along the way. Yes, you can. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Laboratory medicine is the BMS LM and going into the diagnostic pathology. So yeah, no one's going to do that one. It is a little bit more capped than their operating science degree because we need to show. Sorry. What would you if you're not wanting me to just write you a tag, so the G. Okay, sorry. Same before, just when my brain shuts down in these situations. Beautiful, thank you. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, so Lara will be able to go through. If your lab medical set